Hello and welcome to Nichol's how-to videos. My name is Karl and today I'm showing you how to sow seeds. With seed sowing, these are the main items to choose to use for seed sowing. So mainly, obviously, the most important is your seed sowing mix. We're recommending Black Magic from Yates. We've got our mini propagators to propagate your seeds, and it does cuttings as well. And you've got your punnets as well to sow your seeds in. Even the paper seed holders to germinate your seeds and grow them in. There's also the wee pots here as well. Vermiculite, some really good important thing for your seeds to retain the moisture while the seeds are germinating. We also sell the heat pads to help with those more difficult seeds to germinate. And most importantly as well is the labels. Always got a label for your seeds. We've got a selection of seeds from Yates, Fothergills and the Kings as well. Most important, water, and get a good watering can that actually waters properly, because there's nothing worse than when you're watering, big droplets come out and muck up what you've already done, and it disturbs the seeds. Well, let's get into sowing some seeds. So firstly is to fill up your container of your seed sowing mix. Just make sure that the soil is got enough moisture in it to retain the seed when it starts to germinate. That's one done. And just make sure that the container isn't too full and isn't too empty either. Nothing worse than the seeds trying to germinate and there's not enough soil in there for them to germinate and to grow. So that should be just the right amount there to start sowing your seeds. Okay. Right, so we've got some varieties here. I'm going to sow some broccoli and lettuce in one punnet and do a bit of a division between them. So the rule of thumb with seeds is when you bury them or when you cover them over, it's always twice the size of the seed. So if the seed's really, really small, you hardly cover it at all. And then if it's, on the other hand, if it's very big, then you've got to cover it quite a lot. So that's the broccoli. And then I'll put some lettuce in there. So just make sure when you are sowing them that you're not too thick. You just give it a bit of a tap on the side. We do sell these wee seed sowers. These wee seed sowers here. Quite handy when you're a bit heavy-handed on the sowing side of things. So that's all ready to go. And then you've got silver beet here. And they're quite large seeds. So I selected 3 different types of seeds just because of how they look. And silver beet's interesting because each seed, about 3 seedlings come out of each seed. So it's good value for money. That's your silver beet. So they're all ready to go. And I'll just give it that extra wee push down so it just secures them into the soil. As long as I call them boats, as long as it doesn't stick to the equipment you're using. So that's all ready to go, and she's ready to be put to bed. So I'm just using vermiculite, and this is important stuff. It just retains the moisture, and again just lightly cover them, going by that rule of thumb I just mentioned, twice the size of the seed as the cover. So for the broccoli and the lettuce, they're quite smaller, so I'm just going to just lightly cover them over, because if you cover them over too much, they won't germinate at all. They'll just stay underground, and you're wondering why they're not germinating. But then on the other hand, if you don't cover them enough, they can potentially dry out as well. Alright, so she's all ready to go. The last most important thing is your water. Just give that vermiculite and good water. Just make sure you use the right nozzle as I said before. I've got some more vermiculite there. Just let it soak in there. With any type of watering for the first time, it's the most important water, because you're starting the cycle. So they need that first big bit of water to keep them going. Last thing is your labels. So you write down what you've put in there. So you've put your variety, so you've got your broccoli, you just shorthand it there, that's rock, and then the date, 30th of the 8th, and then you put it on the side there. There you go. And you do the rest for the other ones. And then after that, stick her in your propagation tray, put the lid on, and every day, probably twice a day, make sure you do check them because they will dry out, so they'll need water at least twice a day, first thing in the morning and roughly about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. We're good to go.